Shalom everybody and welcome to Rega Be'Ivrit. My name is Rabbi Dr. Yitzhak Shapira. Every week I am here with you, multiple languages. This is our commitment to you. We are going to learn Hebrew together, and together we're going to dive into the roots of those giants like the Or HaChaim, Ben Ish Chai, the Ramban, Even Ezra. Today commentary specifically on Parashat Vayeshev, when we are changing parasha altogether, and we're really going to focus from now on until the rest of the book of Genesis on Yosef and the life of Yosef. And in this parasha today, Vayeshev, although we are going to look at Yosef specifically, I want to focus your attention today specifically on the words of the Torah about Yaakov, and how should we understand the beginning of the portion. At the beginning of the portion it says Ele Toldot Yaakov Yosef ben Shva Esre. This is very important that we see that. The verse before that though says Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz megorei aviv be'eretz Canaan. Now I want to deal with both verses together. I'm going to actually go backwards for a moment today, because I think it is important for us to look at two aspects of this. Vayeshev Yaakov, and Yaakov settled in the land of Canaan. We have to understand what it's meant by that by the Or HaChaim. And then the other thing is Ele Toldot Yaakov Yosef. Why is it that Yosef is being described to us for the first time as Yaakov Yosef? It's like my father's name is Abraham. It's like if somebody would say, here is the birth of Avraham Yitzchak. Well, wait a second, my name is Yitzchak. Why is it that it says Avraham Yitzchak? There's something very shady about the way that Yosef is being introduced to us. He's introduced to us for the very first time in the expression Yaakov Yosef, Jacob Joseph. That is his name, and we have to understand that, and then understand why this word Vayeshev is so important here in the text. And of course, it's in your Bible, Vayeshev, and he sat and he dwelled and he rested. There could be different words, but let's go to Or HaChaim for a moment. It says on the word Ele, our sages blessed of memory. We already talked about the Ele before. Here it's the word Ele. Listen to what it says. Our sages of blessed memory have says in Yerushalmi, okay, on the Midrash, and also in Talmud Yerushalmi, it says that any place that the word Ele, this, okay, is stated at the beginning of the Torah passage, it's disconnect to the people or the topic that discussed previously. Well, the question is, who has been discussed previously at the very end of the other parasha? It is the champions, brothers and sisters, of Esav. It's the lineage of Esav. If you read in chapter 36, you will see this starting actually before that. It's all the lineage of Esav. Yaakov came to Yitzchak, his father, and here Yitzchak went to Yaakov, and then we read about his other son, Esav, and now there is a complete separation and cutting. The Torah tried to tell us that there is absolutely no connection whatsoever. That's important to understand, between Yaakov Yosef and Esav. And I love the way the Or HaChaim said. He said, by using the word here, the Torah disconnect the offspring of Esav, who were discussed at the end of the previous parasha, from the offspring of Yaakov, who is now being discussed. However, if this is all that the verse had in mind, there was no need for it. What is it says? Why does it say it? Why the Torah make this point? Because Nifsal Esav. Write yourself those words, Nifsal Esav, because Esau himself has already been disconnected and disqualified from Yaakov and the Jewish people. He became pasul. The word pasul is the word unkosher, unclean. The Torah wanted to tell us here that Esau is already unclean from this distinction. Ve'ele toldot Yaakov Yosef. Okay? It was already clear that Yaakov alone would father the holy Jewish nation. And Esau and his descendants would have nothing to do with them. We must therefore seek another explanation of the Torah for the word, this, Yaakov Yosef. So why is it says Yaakov Yosef? The Torah needed to discuss Yosef, but where are the 10 tribes that are older than him? Surely, it says, something should have been said about them before Joseph's story. They're not even mentioned. Now our sages of blessed memory, Genesis Rabbah 84, verse 5 and 6, deal with this question. They understand that this clause is to be rendered as the word offspring of Yaakov, Yosef. Some of the sages says on this verse, very important, means to convey that Yosef is the core of the entire family. Yaakov Yosef. Yosef is the core of the family. And others said that Yosef is particularly called Yaakov Yosef, offspring, because the same thing that happened to one happened to all. Yaakov was born circumcised and Yosef was born circumcised. This is a midrashic interpretation. Of course, we do not have to accept it. It's just a midrash to say that. Now, let us understand that if it is mean that Yosef is the core of the family and Yosef and Yaakov connect together, and Yaakov, his name is Israel, and Yosef is Mashiach ben Yosef, they are one in the same. They represent one in the same, brothers and sisters. We have to understand the same spiritual DNA. Now, remember what it says in the beginning. It says in the beginning, Yaakov settled in the land of his father lodging. Bayeshev Yaakov be'eretz mekorei aviv. He settled in the land of Canaan. Now, this is important to understand. What is the issue here with this text? ביקש יעקב אבינו ליישב בשלווה כי פץ עליו רוגזו של יוסף. Yosef listen to this. Our father Yaakov wished to settle down in tranquility. He wanted shalom. So the anguish of the kidnap of Yosef pounced upon him. The moment that Yaakov says, I want to take a retirement from the tikkun of my brother Esau, all the gates of hell, basically, Or HaChaim says, have opened upon us. This is true for our Jewish people today. The moment we stop rectify Yaakov stopped rectify Esau, all the gates have opened against us as Jews. And that's what it says here in the text. That anguish is what the verse is referring to when it says, these are the offsprings of Yaakov. Elel toldot Yaakov. It's talking about that terrible tragedy that's about to happen to Yaakov. Listen to this. Because the Torah seeks, remember when I explained to you, the Ele is a separation from something that happened before. The Torah is seeking to make known that the sale of Yosef and all the subsequent distress in Yaakov's suffering was brought about Yaakov himself. Ele, this is amazing. Yaakov brought his own calamity upon himself. Through his desire was to settle down in tranquility, As it is written, Yaakov settled. Therefore, the first continue with the word offspring, or in Hebrew, the word toldot. It is impossible for him to settle in tranquility. He wanted simply to have peace. Joseph, at the age of 17, was able to start. So the Ele want to tell us that there are two different episodes in his life. All of the trouble, all of the tikkunim, all of the things that happened to him, and I'll think about all the trouble of Yaakov, does not even equate for the roges, for the pain, for the suffering, this word roges, for the calamities that's going to come about Yaakov. And why is it again? It is because he chose to settle down. When Yaakov stopped working, brothers and sisters, on tikkunim, on repairs, then the enemy found a way to attack us as Jacob. What a lesson for us today. Let us continue to do the tikkunim in Esav, and the last days. Do not settle in Acharit Hayamim. This, friend, is Reka Be'ivrit for this week.